Shalom. First, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Kakadash. And hey, man, it's going down in the beginning of 2026. Here it is. We are in January, and things are getting out of control politically and domestically, man. Here in the United States, known as Babylon, you got ICE, ramping up so-called deportations, things of that sort. And then they just killed this Edomite chick, a couple of days ago, put her to death. And now the president, vice president, and the head of, I believe, DHS, Kristi Noem, is saying it's okay. ICE has immunity. They can do whatever they want, pretty much. So the elite are setting the tone that your ass could be killed by ICE and nothing going to happen to them. And they killed a so-called white woman to let you know, hey, you everyday Americans, you are next. That no one's safe. You was all gun-ho talking about, oh, get Pedro, get Martinez, get them out of here, get the Haitians out of here. But look and behold, who's been killed and shot? A so-called white woman, man. So they're setting the tone, and Jacob's trouble is brewing, man. That pot is being stirred. It has already begun. So now ICE is talking about they're going to go door to door, just like mentioned in the scriptures. But this is all a prelude to what's getting ready to come on a full scale nationwide. Everyone's going to experience Jacob's trouble here in America, especially you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're going to experience it the worst. But these heathens are getting a taste of it too, man. Let's get this video or this article going. It says, disturbing J.D. Vance. ICE door-to-door comments compared to 1930s Germany after horror shooting. The debate over U.S. immigration enforcement has heated up in the wake of J.D. Vance's recent comments advocating for door-to-door ICE checks, with one social media user comparing the measure to 1930s Germany. Vance's statements were made public after an ICE agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis on Wednesday, sparking citywide protests. Vance joined Jesse Waters, showing as the conversation shifted to administration plans to boost ICE recruitment and expedite deportation, with Trump branded a disgrace to humanity after his comment about the dead Minnesota mother. Federal officials have claimed that the woman identified as Renee Nicole Good tried to run over immigration officers with her car claim disputed by the mayor of Minneapolis, who accused the involved agent of acting recklessly. It comes after an ICE agent's cam footage exposed the truth and revealed Good's final 8 words before she was shot in the face. Damn, he gave that bitch a face shot, man. Her dome shot. So this is going to come to you everyday Americans, man. You Edomites, so-called white people, you Asians, you so-called Moabites, not so-called Moabites, but you the Moabites, so-called Japanese, who are the Ammonites. You're going to experience this too. Elam, the dot-headed so-called Indians, the East Indians. Y'all asses are going to feel this heat, man, that Yahweh Shah is getting ready to bring down on all of Babylon. You motherfuckers going to pay the price, man. The Lord's going to pay every single one of you motherfuckers that fought against Jerusalem. And Lord knows I can't wait. Lord knows what he going to do to you. Inside joke, man. So that's the only thing that's going to happen to you Americans, man. Is nothing but destruction. Hell and pure chaos is coming to the shores of Babylon. If you don't believe me, just keep following the news. and you're going to see how bad, how worse it's going to get for you people. And for you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, Jacob's trouble was catered just for you, man. It was tailored just for you. So this is the time to get under the, get in the secret place of the Most High. Because believe me, outside of being a non-elect, being a 2/3 in Babylon, in America, your asses is gonna guaranteed be killed, man. Guaranteed your ass is gonna die here in America. But let's get some precepts. So they thinking about doing door to door, door checks. All getting ready for training for martial law. This is a pretty much a scale, a exercise, a training exercise. And you people are so stupid, you don't know what's coming. Especially the so-called Negroes. Y'all don't know y'all fucking head you don't know your ass from a hole in the wall, man. You don't know what's going on. You niggas are just dumb, man. The so-called Negroes and the so-called Latinos, y'all don't have a clue, man. You don't know the pure hell that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is getting ready to unleash on y'all for being disobedient and not turning back to your power and you serving other gods, man. He's not gonna tolerate that shit any longer, man. And we're gonna get some precepts. This is Second Esdras 16 and 71. Well, let's start with verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Most High. So who really fear the Most High is Jake, but is really talking about the elect. But all of Israel, the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans fear the Most High. In fact, you see the northern tribes, the so-called Latinos, they always talk about Jesus and this and that. Gad and Reuben, not so much, But the northern, and the southern kingdom, as far as the Latinos go, so-called Latinos, man, they fear the hell out the Most High. Gad is on some old nether shit, man. They are deep into them different gods and shit. The coyote spirit and things like that, man. But it says in verse 70, 2nd Esdras 16 and 70, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection and overthrow upon those that fear the Most High. Yeah, you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to get overthrown in America. You're going to be ransacked, ravished, murdered, trampled, stampeded, all this by the U.S. United States military, NATO troops, UN troops, mercenaries. And it's all going to be sent from the Most High. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none. Yeah, they going to go door to door, like how they training now to go door to door to find you so-called Negroes and Latinos and so-called Native Americans who are the true biblical Israelites. They're going to search for you and search you out. And when they do, they're going to put y'all asses to death. It says, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Most High. Yeah, talking about Israel again. They're going to destroy you if you're outside of the protection of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now, there's going to be some of the elect that's going to get put to death. For, refusing the RFID microchip, for what we believe in, standing on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, preaching the truth. You know, some of us are going to get killed for this. So you got to take that, you know, into account. Verse 73, then shall it be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So we're going to be tried, you know, with the hour of temptation, you know, whether you're going to get the MOTB or not, the mark of the beast. You're gonna hear the helicopters, the jet fighters flying over your neighborhood, your house. Your house is gonna be shaken from drone strikes, explosions. You're gonna be thrown in that prison for 10 days. You know, so the elect, this is certain members of the elect are gonna be tried, man. You're gonna be put to the test. You're gonna be put to the limits. And some ultimately are going to have to be put to death. And that just is what it is, man. But hey, things are ramping up. Right now it's hot. Iran war is pumping back up. So hey, man, if you ain't got Yahweh Shem Yahushua on your side, hey, you're going to get put to death, man. You know, and for the elect who do have Yahweh Shem Yahushua on their side, you're getting put to death for a good reason, man. You know, you're gonna be beamed up in them chariots first, man. You're gonna be on them chariots when Yahushua come back. You know, so don't take it as a loss, because you know, as an elect, you never lose, man. You just get elevated. But you know, I pray this video was edifying to the sincere Yakim, man. The elect, hang on, man. We about to be out this bitch. Shalom.